Released on the PC Engine CD in 1992, God Panic Shijo Saikyou no Gundan is exactly the type of weird Japanese game you hope to stumble upon when going through a console's library. Featuring pastiches of classic wrestlers, evil mahjong boards, and demonic VW bugs, its offbeat sense of humor, serviceable shooting, and wildly entertaining cast of characters doesn't require elaborate strategies or a huge time commitment, making it the perfect Sunday afternoon brain melter. Getting right into it, there's not much to touch on as God Panic is an extremely straightforward and minimalistic shooter. Level to level, you'll encounter a limited selection of power-ups including extra firepower that gives you 2 additional wingmen for double the damage. Note that these can be stacked multiple times, amplifying your attack into a powerful homing shot capable of swiftly cutting down enemies and bosses. You'll also come across speed boosts, which are incredibly helpful since your default movement is quite slow, giving the game a noticeable stiffness, so upgrading quickly comes highly recommended. Extra bombs can be found, which are super handy for tight situations since their blasts destroy bullets but are also perfect for nuking tougher foes. And lastly, you'll come across extra hit points to refill your meter and in some cases even extend your life bar. And what's nice is that these extensions will carry over to your remaining lives and continues. While the game may not provide a top-tier shoot-'em-up experience with flawless movement and refined strategic shooting, it more than makes up for it with its unique off-the-wall style. To all my freaks out there, good luck finding another game where you can shoot down breakdancing kings by giant feet and butt cheeks on the beach. How about going full Charles Bronson and dogging on some street punks? You gotta love shooting business raccoons in the balls, and forget about the Goodyear blimp, we're going toe-to-toe with the bad Choco Pussing blimp. Trust me, there is no shortage of ridiculous stuff to see in this game. And while we're talking about crazy things, I have to mention the wonky soundtrack, which is almost entirely made up of legally distinct classic rock ripoffs. Level 1 is basically Highway Star by Deep Purple. I kid you not, the first boss theme is Stairway to Heaven, and the Beach Babe level is a take on Kenny Loggins' Danger Zone. As expected, this game delivers plenty of memorable visual gags and raucous escapades, keeping levels fresh and engaging. That is, until the halfway point, when you're required to replay the same stages again, now with a simple negative filter applied. For a game that thrives on spectacle, there's almost nothing worse it could have done. As without that element of surprise, the second half does start to fall short. Now that's not to say it doesn't attempt to switch things up, as enemies have been given demonic touch-ups like the Demon Dusty Rhodes and Evil Hulk, which I presume just means he's like a decent human being now. The Kimono Ladies are now succubi, and even bosses have been redesigned, but patterns go largely unchanged, leaving you with a feeling that the designers either ran out of time or inspiration and had to make do. On the one hand, with its swift runtime, God Panic never truly has the opportunity to overstay its welcome, even in the second half. But it's still disappointing to say the least, especially since they didn't even bother to change things up with a new final boss. And while I'm at it, I don't know where else to put this in the review, but the shot sound effect is really loud and annoying. It makes me wish I could just turn it off and listen to the music. Even with its flaws, I still think God Panic is a game worth checking out if you're a fan of this style of over-the-top Japanese humor. And with its short runtime, charming aesthetic, and campy music, you're bound to at least have a few minutes of fun. And fans of Choaniki or Parodius will find themselves right at home with this one. Not to mention, the game sports a manageable difficulty, as I saw it through to the end on my first try only using 3 continues. With this being a PC Engine game, it should come as no surprise that it does command a bit of money, typically pushing the $100 price point, which in my opinion is not worth it, and with that cash you're better off acquiring any one of the Parodius games on the SNES or the similarly priced Star Parodier. Nevertheless, if you want to spice up your collection, then maybe snag a copy. However, I suggest everyone else stick with emulation to give this one a shot and experience its wacky offerings. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this episode, consider checking out these other videos right here, or even subscribing. Also, if you'd like to throw me a couple of bucks, you can support the show on Patreon.